So, a few months ago, I made a video where I said the Switch 2 had a pretty good shot at releasing in early 2024 due to a large amount of rumors that said this. However, that deadline is rapidly approaching and we have heard absolutely nothing about it. There definitely still is a chance that the console comes out this year, but it's starting to seem less and less likely. So today I wanted to make an update to this and try and see exactly where we are in the Switch's lifespan. So first of all, what happened to these rumors? There has been quite a lot of conflicting information about exactly when the Switch 2 is going to be released. Previously, many of the supposed leakers claimed that it would release in the first quarter of 2024, but seeing as how that date is so close and we've heard nothing, that's definitely not going to happen anymore. Instead, these sources have updated their predictions to say that it will release in the second half of 2024. But are these sources even reliable? I mean, they've already got one guess wrong. And there are so many people who make fake leaks for Nintendo games online, so it wouldn't be surprising to see that this has happened again. However, this rumor has a little bit more credibility. I mean, just look at the sheer number of articles that say it will come out this year. But does this make sense? The original Nintendo Switch is definitely slowing down, but it could still survive for a good 2 or 3 years. I mean, 2023 was a great year for Nintendo. Tears of the Kingdom brought back a ton of Breath of the Wild players, and the Mario movie followed by Mario Wonder introduced a bunch of new Mario fans. But heading into 2024, it looks really empty for Nintendo. There aren't any really huge games that would bring in a bunch of new players. This doesn't necessarily mean that the year is going to be empty. I mean, 2018 didn't look that big, but then we got Smash Ultimate. But something tells me that we aren't gonna have any massive Switch games this year. But okay, if this year is so empty, are we really gonna see a new console? Well, between the Switch's reveal to its release, it took about 5 months. Comparing this to other modern consoles like the PS5, it was also 5 months, and the Xbox Series X was a whole 11 months. The Switch 2 is probably also going to take about 5 months, and according to many sources, the new release date for the Nintendo Switch 2 is September 2024. But to be honest, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Nintendo has never released a console in September, so why would they start now? Almost every single console, except the Switch, has released in November, likely to get sales for Black Friday and Christmas. But there actually was one console that released in September before, but only in Japan, the GameCube. Now, why would they release it again in September, especially in the modern day? Maybe it's because most countries don't have Black Friday, or because November is an election month, or maybe it's because it's right in the middle of their fiscal year. Now this seems to be the most likely answer. If you didn't see my first video, a lot of Nintendo's decision making of when they release their console is dependent on their fiscal year. This is why the 3DS and the Switch came out just before the fiscal year restarted. And as it happens, September falls exactly at the halfway point of their fiscal year. But why does this matter? Well, this would actually be a pretty smart decision, since in the first half of the year, they would see at least a few guaranteed millions of sales with the Switch 1, and in the second half, they can roll the dice. If the Switch 2 succeeds, the year looks even better. But if it fails, at least Nintendo can say that they sold a few million consoles in that year. This makes sure that the company continues to look good to its investors, even if their next console doesn't do very well. But the Switch 2 is going to do incredibly well, right? Nintendo has been building a stockpile of their most beloved games. We haven't gotten an entirely new 3D Mario game in 6 years, and a new Mario Kart in 10 years. So if Nintendo plays their cards right and releases these massive games along with their console, 2024 could be a huge year. But there is one thing that may stop the console's success, and that's the fact that Nintendo is really bad at making sequels to consoles, or at least advertising them. The Wii U and 3DS did terribly compared to their predecessors, mostly due to bad marketing which made them seem too similar to said predecessors. But as long as Nintendo doesn't name their next console something stupid, it should do well. However, there is one more thing to consider. The Switch is a pretty unique console, in the fact that most of its sales have been in the second half of its life. For over 70 million people, they've had the console for less than 3 years. And spending another $350 on something that they feel like they just bought might seem like a waste of money. So the success of the Switch 2 is really dependent on how well it's advertised and differentiated from the original Switch. people think that it's too similar and not worth the price, it could be another failure, echoing the Wii U. 2024 could either be one of Nintendo's biggest years ever, or it could be marked by failure and a complete embarrassment. But who knows, maybe all of these rumors are completely wrong and my original guess of November 2026 will be correct. But probably not. Thanks for watching, see you later.